Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time checking out a video, I want to thank you and welcome you to the insanity that is me being a giant nerd. So this is a series that I am dubbing the Why I Like series. It's just me rambling about topics that I enjoy. Um, this particular video is a company known as 52 Toys. They do quite a bit, but in this case, I'm going to be focusing on what they do that I enjoy. So there's figures called Beast Box, which was what they kind of started with in this set of figures, and I think the first one that I saw from them was it's called Dio. It's just a little raptor-looking dude or baby T-Rex, whatever the proper term is, but it's a fun little cube dinosaur thing. From there, they kind of expanded a lot on different creatures, and then they went into vehicles, and then they kind of grew into what's called Mega Box and Infinity Box, which is mythical creatures. They had an alien, a queen alien. They had a predator. They've done little mechs that are separate things, but then combine into an actual full-on mech. There's Hexanoid, which is I don't recall if both of them transformed into a cube, but one of them was, and it was just a dude that turned into a cube, but then could also implement certain Beast Box figures into like accessories or some kind of stuff like that. Um, and the most recent, or I don't know if I'd say most recent, but the latest that I've seen and that I absolutely adore is called Beast Drive. So rather than animals turning into these little cubes, they turn into vehicles. My first one was a shark that turns into a jet, and then my second one was a raptor that turns into a race car, and now I have a rabbit that turns into I think it's supposed to be a spaceship mode, but it just looks like a frisbee, or not a frisbee, kind of like a boomerang. It almost reminds me of I want to say it's not the B-52, the B2, where it looks like a slice of pizza almost, but spread out rather than fully into a spearhead. But I mean, it's a fun little thing. There's quite a bit to this company and a lot of their figures. There's some that implement others. There's some that come with bonuses that are neat little nods to the kind of creature there are. Um, there's one that I got that I'm a lover of clear plastic. It glows really well with any sort of light, and they did I think it's a parakeet or a parrot, maybe a macaw. Not sure on the bird species. Not huge on birds, so I couldn't tell you specifics. But it's one called Sakura, which is a pink and purple version of that mold, and well, pink, purple, and white. It's meant to represent the kind of colors that come from sakura trees, and I think it's beautiful. I love it. I'm a little upset because the joints for the wings cracked because of, again, well, not again. I think I've covered it in one of my videos before, where clear plastic is more fragile, so you have to be careful about how much pressure you put onto it and whatnot. And I'll go back and hit it with like some super glue or modeling cement, something of that line. Um, I'm just being cautious of it now, but it's still a beautiful figure. I leave it on my desk just to have something brighten up my day a little bit. Um, they have different types of classifications for their beast boxes. So there's dinosaur, which is kind of self-explanatory. Monster, which is typically just your land creatures. There's insect, bird, and then aquatic. So your fish, your sharks. that kind of nature. There's squid and octopus. I think there's a couple more in there, but yeah. Um, and I mean, I love this company. The products that they've put out have all been fun to mess with, and I've gotten a couple for some friends of mine just so they can check them out and mess with them. Um, there's one very particular one that stood out to me. It's a axolotl. So they did it in three different colors. There's orange, yellow, and then this blue with purple. And I think by now my logo has made it clear I absolutely adore purple. So I got me the dark blue, black, and purple one, and I do not regret it. I absolutely adore it. It's a beautiful figure and it's fun. But yeah, and then that's kind of the gist of it. There's more to them, and I think down the line I'm going to break down the ones that I know of or that are cataloged, and then kind of explain some of the repaints or exclusives. Um, but again, this is just meant to be an umbrella to open the door, and so that way I can showcase different things. And then further down the line, when I have more time or more capability of going in depth, I will. Um, and this franchise, so this company, they've done like little mini figures that you'd see like from what is it, the little candy dispensers and toy dispensers. They have figures that look like they come from that kind of thing. I'm sure some of them actually have accessories to do that. Um, but yeah, um, to kind of touch back on Beast Drive, so they have a pre-made core which is put together, and then you have all the pieces that make up the actual vehicle and robot modes on model kit trees. And you cut them out and you can slap stickers on them. They have decals. I only go for the ones that highlight like certain details. Otherwise, I'm not a huge fan of stickers on anything. I'd rather paint or just it naturally be separated plastic. But again, to each their own for that part. Um, that'll never discourage me from enjoying these things, and the wide range of again creature types and item types. They just recently put out a giraffe. They've put out a penguin. There's I think I have a triceratops in my collection right now. There's a little goldfish, a wolf, um, quite a bit, and some of their names are puns on what they are. There's some that are just odd, and then when they do like the repaints, they go with, oh, here's magma version of this, or here's infernal version of this, and I like that. It kind of keeps me entwined in seeing how creative they can get with their recolors, and not just going, oh, here's red this or blue that. Um, they have Dio, the Raptor one, being so old, it's got so many different repaints and colors, and some of them have different like names or claims as like utility. So there's like a police Dio, there's a more construction looking Dio, there's I think it was a lucky Dio or something along those lines, which was it was like a mint green kind of recolor. Uh, but yeah, that's about it. I feel like I've sounded more like a robot with these kinds of videos, and I want, like I said, I want to stick to me. So when I go on these weird side rambles, I'm not going to cut them. I don't want to remove anything. This is me being passionate about something, and I want to encourage people to be the same way. Because it generally like warms my heart in the first place, and then when I hear the investment from someone, it's hard to describe, but when you hear that inflection in their tone, it kind of brings out a joy of passion for me. So yeah, um, I'm gonna try recording in this more nonchalant rather than closer to a scripted kind of manner. And I hope anybody who listens or watches my videos gets enjoyment out of it. If there's anything that anybody who watches or listens to wants me to cover or wants me to go more in depth with, I will be paying attention to comments. Um, and in time, I'm hoping to save up to get a tower to do streaming. And I'm thinking during that streaming, if I do like a build or two while I'm doing like video games or something, I think that'd be fun. But yeah, otherwise, I thank you for your time and the listen. And if you like the video, feel free to like it. Um, Give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. Until I get into a situation where I feel more comfortable producing more and more of these videos, I'm just going based off of what time I have and what energy I have. I won't be strict on anything until I have more of a understanding and a better flow of things. But with that, thank you for your time, and I hope me talking about nonsense gets you to be inspired to kind of do the same thing, or if you want to just watch or listen or discuss random stuff, I'm trying to get it myself set up to where I have a broader range of communications. But with that, thank you, and I hope you have the day you deserve. I don't have a good closing quote. Yeah, bye.